Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Good morning to each and every one of you. I just wanted to take the time to share something with all of you. As you can see, it says no more blood pressure medication. And I am just extremely, extremely happy and just overjoyed by the fact that I am able to come off of the blood pressure medication that I had been taking since 2008. I went to the doctor yesterday for them to check my blood pressure, and when they checked my blood pressure, it was 120 over 80 on the dot. And I was so excited. Back in the summertime, they told me, the people that used to deliver my blood pressure medications told me that they would not be able to get any more of this medication to me until April of 2019. That was in the summer slash fall. And so at that point, I took the rest of the medication that I had, and then I, went into researching and looking at what I could do naturally to get my blood pressure to come down to a normal level without taking blood pressure medications. And so I started doing that. I started taking more herbal supplements, excuse me, and I started exercising 5 days a week. I started watching my salt intake even the more, which I had been doing that, but I started being more intentional about doing that and really looking at the salt content in the foods that I was eating. So I had to change some more of what I was eating, and so that I wasn't taking in so much salt. And of course, still working on trying to lose my weight and, maintain the weight that I had already lost and to continue, um, to lose the weight. So I have been doing that, from the fall, all the way up until now. And so I was a little nervous when I went in because I had been monitoring my blood pressure, and I had been, keeping track of what it was, and it was going up and down, up and down, up and down. But I was really determined that I could, get this done naturally without continuing to have to take the blood pressure medicine for the rest of my life. And so I continued to do that. And yesterday was just a confirmation for me. The doctor, he said, well, I'm not going to, prescribe you with any more blood pressure medication. He did it reluctantly, because I was ready to go in there and tell him anyway that I wasn't going to, continue to try to take this. I wanted to do this naturally. And, he told me, he said, well, since your blood pressure is now controlled, he said, I won't prescribe you any more blood pressure medication. And I was just happy. I was praising Yah, and I was just overjoyed with the fact that, I was able to do this with the help of the Most High Yah, and being consistent, and, creating an environment within my body for healing to take place and manifest. And this is so very, very important. It's not something that has happened overnight. I've been working on and off since about 2003, actually, to be quite honest with you, with changing my diet, changing my eating habits, changing my lifestyle, changing the way that I think about, what I eat and when I eat and how much I eat, and all of those types of things. So it has been a process that has happened over time. But I know that I don't want to live my life just being, sick and infirmed and with all types of diseases and conditions that I would have to constantly be taking medicines for the rest of my life. And that was the only prescription medicine that I had been on. And they had doubled it up and told me I had to take 2 a day. And that's what made me determine that I have got to take responsibility for my own health and not depend on, the doctors to just keep on prescribing me medicine that was quote unquote treating a symptom, but not getting me to the root of the problem. And so I started, really, like I said, being intentional about what I ate, when I eat, how much I eat, what's in my foods. And I'm not, perfect, and I don't have it all together, but I'm starting to see the results of, the changes that I've made in my life. And, I stopped taking a lot of even the over the counter medicines that I was taking. I stopped taking those. So I've been going through a slow detox in my body, coming away from the chemicals that I was taking, whether that prescription blood pressure medication, or even things like, Tylenol and ibuprofen, and, and things of that nature. And so I just wanted to encourage, those of you who may be trying to do the same thing, who are trying to come off of all of the prescription medicines that you've been taking, for the different conditions that you've been dealing with in your life, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's diabetes, whether it's high cholesterol, or, thyroid, or whatever the situation may be. Really look into, what you're eating and how much you're eating and when you're eating, and maybe even, getting on some supplements in areas where you may be deficient, in the vitamins and the nutrients that your body may be lacking, which may be causing some of the symptoms that you're experiencing. And that's what was happening with me. And I'm going to continue on. I'm not, exactly where I want to be or where I need to be health-wise, but I'm getting there. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm just giving all the praise and honor and thanksgiving to the Most High Yah for what He's doing in my life in this way. And I'm just so grateful, and I'm just so thankful. And I almost cried coming out of that doctor's office yesterday, because I was just like, I was praying while they were taking my blood pressure. I was like, please, 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 let it be good, because it had been coming down. And I was just so grateful. And I just said, hallelujah. I got into the car, trying to drive away as fast as I could. And it had been quite some time that, my blood pressure had been at what is considered a normal level without me being on medication. And so, like I said, I was so very, very happy when the nurse took it and she was like, it's 120/80. And I said, glad you said that. I said, because I haven't been taking the blood pressure medicine. And she was like, what? I said, yeah, I haven't been taking the blood pressure medicine. And I told her everything that I was doing. And, I had gotten on a beet regimen where, I had been drinking, beets, and I've been taking the beet powder. And, then I moved to just drinking the organic beets and doing that, and, taking magnesium. I started taking ashwagandha root and things of that nature, vitamin D and folic acid, and just different supplements to help bring that blood pressure down naturally. And so, do your research. Everybody has a, different situation going on in their life, but please look into it for yourself. Create an environment within your body that will allow, healing to be manifested in it. The Most High Yah wants us to be in excellent health. He wants to have a healthy place for His set apart spirit to dwell in. And we have to create that environment so that the healing can manifest, can take place, and so that our bodies can function and operate in line with the way that the Most High Yah has designed our bodies to function, as He designed and purposed them to. You know, sickness and disease and infirmity is, you know, not of Yah, and it is foreign to our bodies. And that's why we are in dis-ease. You know, we're, you know, just look at that word, dis-ease. And you know, it affects our everyday lives. And so do what you had to do. You know, I had to change, you know, my activities and look at the things that were causing me stress and anxiety in my life. And I had to stop doing some things and stop, you know, I stopped working in the place where I was working. You know, you know, I'm getting ready to start work right now, but you know, I opened up my own business where I could create an environment around myself that did not keep my, you know, my stress levels up here, you know, all the time, where I was just like, "Ugh," all the time. And it was keeping me at a stress level that was so high that our bodies are not meant to be at that level of stress all of the time. And so I really had to make some sweeping changes in my life so that I can come back into a place of balance and stability spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You know, I was just so far out of whack, you know, and I was just trying to get back in line, which is just so very important for me. I was like, you know, I can't go out like this. You know, I'm like, I can't go out like this. So, you know, I had to, you know, make some changes, and mentally, you know, I had to get to the point where I'm not just living to eat, but I'm learning how to eat to live. You know, I grew up with some of the most horrible eating habits, you know, especially when it came to eating candy. I was a big candy lover, you know, and sodas and milkshakes and all those types of things. And I had to slowly but surely wean myself off of a lot of those things, you know, that you don't realize that you are addicted to. And it has slowly but surely, you know, change how I have felt. You know, I did transition away from, you know, eating the meat. I'm just down to wild caught salmon and wild caught tuna because I was having stomach aches every day, all the time. I was nauseated all the time, dizzy all the time. And I didn't even realize that that was my life. It was because it happened all the time. And then when like I said, I went to more fruits and more vegetables, you know, and things of that nature. I got off of the sodas, went to water, you know, and I drink smoothies and, you know, juice at minimum and like 8 ounces, and that's it. And that's every now and again. Then my body, I don't have stomach aches anymore, you know, and I'm not dizzy anymore, and I'm not nauseated anymore because I was constantly having to take, you know, you know, stuff for gas and Pepto-Bismol, and I haven't taken any of those things in months. And I'm just so grateful to the Most High Yah for health and healing being manifested in my body now, you know, and it's, you know, money can't buy that. Money, you know, money can't buy you peace, and money can't buy you health. It can buy you a pill, you know, it can buy you a prescription, but it can't buy you, you know, the healing of the root of the problem that is causing all of those symptoms and the disease and the infirmity. So I wanted to start dealing with things at the root of the problem and not just the symptoms anymore. So, you know, I pray that each and every one of you who are maybe been thinking about making a lifestyle change, you know, no matter how old you may be or whatever the situation may be, you know, go ahead and take that next step and make that lifestyle change. You know, I'm a living witness that it really, really helps me getting out and exercising I go and walk around in an aqua track, in a pool. And when I first started going back in November, my back was stiff. You know, it was hard for me to walk in that pool, but now I'm able to walk in the pool. I'm able to jog in the pool. My back doesn't hurt anymore. Um, I've got a lot more flexibility. I've got a lot more endurance. I also do 2 miles on an indoor track. I do a mile on the on the treadmill. And at 51 years old, I'm starting to feel better and better and better. And so, think about that, pray about that, and start making the little changes that will turn around and give you big rewards later when you do it consistently over time. And that's the key. You've got to be consistent with it. I was inconsistent. I was doing some of these same things before, and I did them for a while and I stopped. I did them for a while and I stopped. And what I had to learn to do is that if I didn't want inconsistent results, I had to be consistent in what needed to be done to get the results that I really need, want, and desire to be manifested in my life, in my body. And that's what I started doing. So I had to renew my mind in that area. I really, really did. And I had to ask myself, what do you want? I had to, I was complaining about the same weight. I was complaining about the same, way that I was feeling, or the medicines that I was having to take. And I was just like, nah, 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 all the time. That, and I just said enough is enough. And I had to start walking in discipline and self-control and making the necessary changes and learning how to stick with it. And finally, it started to pay off. And so I just wanted to encourage you with that today. No more blood pressure medicine for me. I'm happy. Can you tell? I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. But I'm going to continue on, and I pray that each and every one of you will continue on as well. So I just wanted to share that with you. All praises to the Most High Yah for what He is doing in my life. And I pray that He is doing some great and wonderful works in your life as well. So I pray that you have a powerful, positive, and productive day. Shalom. I'll see you next time.